Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Fistful of Tangos. I almost said Dangos. Is that an animal or something? No, I don't think so. A Fistful of Tangos, day number 6. 8 of the top players from North America and Europe duking it out. For now, I can safely say $700 in total prizes. We doubled the value of all of the matches after Winners Bracket Round 1. Each match now worth $40 apiece since it is a best-out-of-3 format. You guys get extra games. The players get extra money. Well, only the winners, but the winners will get that. And then I think the first place prize has been increased as well. Gods can fill you guys in with exact details if he's in the chat. If not, I will get the exact information for you tomorrow. But I do know it's now up to $700 in total prizes. A lot of money at stake and a lot of fun coming our way. So with all that being said, you guys have been here before. We're going to go over the rules very quickly. For today, the rules are the same. We're not changing them for the new best out of 3 format. We haven't had a reason to. It seems everyone's pretty happy so far. No bottle crowing, no soul rain or neutrals. Runes are enabled. Extra 150 gold, and you have to spend it on the courier. Third set of rules as far as hero selection goes. We give each of the players 3 predetermined possible matchups. Man, how did I forget about that typo again? God damn. Oh, well, just one of those things at this point. We give the players 3 predetermined possible matchups, which we review with other pro players and get them to sign off on. They say, yeah, these seem pretty even, more or less. And then from that point, each of the players gets a secret veto. They each veto one of the matchups. They tell us what they're vetoing. They don't tell each other, so they don't know what their opponent is vetoing. Then, when that's all said and done, we look at the vetoes. If they've both vetoed the same matchup, then there's 2 matchups remaining. We flip a coin to see which one will be played. Remember, they're vetoing matchups, not heroes. If they veto different matchups, well, you guys can do the math. There's only one matchup left then. There's no hero picking in this tournament. Each player gets a shot at each side of the matchup, but we use coin flips to determine which hero will be played on which side and who's going to play which side first. Once that's all said and done, we get into the game. The first to 2 kills or 2 towers wins. It's a best out of 3 format. After game 1, the players switch heroes and sides. So they keep... Basically, they just switch sides. They remain... they'll play the other side of the matchup, is what I'm trying to say here. And we use the same rules for Game 2. If a Game 3 is necessary, we go to 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid. There are no items, and there are no runes in that matchup. It is a very volatile matchup. Normally going to be decided around that level 3 or 4 mark from what people have been telling us, experimenting with it, what we've seen, what the players have been suggesting to us as well. And for that game, it's the first kill or first tower that wins it because, well, generally, without items or runes, if you die in a 1v1 Shadow Fiend matchup, you're pretty much losing the game anyway. And we want to keep it snappy. We don't want these matches to drag on. So that's the deciding Game 3 format. Those are the rules for our tournament. We've gone over the rules. Let's look at the brackets. Synderen versus Korok is today's matchup. As some people wondering, why are we jumping around from, top to bottom? Why are we not just going through this in a logical order? The reason is scheduling. It has been difficult to schedule the matches. We do give a big round of thanks to all the players for taking the time out of their days during the holidays to play these matches to bring you guys this entertainment along with us here at Beyond the Summit. But with that being said, we did have to take a break yesterday, and the only reason for it was just a scheduling issue. With all those sort of explanations out of the way, Synderen versus Korok. This is a winner's bracket matchup. Remember, the winner takes home $40 for claiming this match, and on top of that, they secure a top 3 placement. Now, there's no bonus money for 2nd or 3rd place. But with that being said, if you make it to the winner bracket finals, you have a much easier path towards that first place prize of $200+ coming your way. So it should be a pretty fun match. Synderen versus Korok. We have Korok, who's established himself over the past, I would say, 4 or 5 months as one of the top solos in the North American European scene. He's had some very impressive games, particularly on Shadow Fiend, Templar Assassin, and it used to be Morphling, one of his signature heroes, but of course we all know Morphling ain't getting played too much, and from what I've been hearing from Bulba, Korok thinks that Morphling just isn't really that good anymore, which, well, echoes what the community thinks at large, unfortunately. But we'll see. Does he get his hands on either of those other signature heroes in this matchup? As for Synderen, he's a player who used to be considered one of the best, really, in the Dota scene, or certainly was captaining teams that are doing very well. But as of late, his team has been very quiet and off the radar. We haven't really seen much from MTW, and I'm excited to see, can his good streak continue? He took down Merlini in his first matchup. Korok, of course, took down Sing Sing to get here. Whoever wins this match, they're one step closer to that first prize. So let's take a look at the matchups we gave the players. The first matchup, something we saw before, Shadow Fiend versus Viper. This is a matchup that really can go either way. I would give a slight edge to Viper, but remember they get their hands at both ends of the matchup. And as we saw the other day, spoiler alert if you didn't watch it, but Funnick actually managed to take down Korok with his Shadow Fiend. And it was close in spite of that. It was very close. Korok ended up getting the first kill, but wasn't able to seal the deal. And Funnick just out-farmed him, had better positioning, controlled the runes a little bit more effectively. So, will that happen again? Will Viper will Shadow Fiend triumph, or will Viper take the edge? We'll find out if that's the matchup. Lich versus Sniper. A classic 1v1 matchup, something we used to see. We used to see that Lich solo mid occasionally, especially in pubs. Of course, the Sniper, back in the days before Smoke was in the game, was a lot more viable as a mid because ganking was a lot easier to prevent with good Observer Ward placement. So you could get away with running a very squishy solo mid like a Sniper. And then, of course, to counter those carries mid, Lich, one of the best in the business, with those denies to limit their gold and experience and keep the lane pulled back towards this tower as much as humanly possible. So, an old school matchup, but we've seen some changes, mainly to the Sniper. He's gotten a lot of buffs. Does that disrupt the equilibrium of this matchup? And is it really a matchup that's going to be balanced in 1v1? Well, some people might be scratching their heads, but we thought it was a fun one. We threw it in there. Remember, the players have vetoes. We don't want to show you guys the same 1v1 matchups every single game because for most people that gets boring. So, let's see if they ban that one. Let's see if it slips through. TA versus Venomancer. Again, something I've talked about a lot. The Venomancer, 4 ways to remove refraction charges. 4 essentially damage over time sources if you want to count the wards that way, just because you can plop lots of them down and they could just be plinking away simultaneously. But TA, when she gets leveled up with that refraction, can just kind of bull rush you. And Venomancer, of course, will have the pushing edge in that 1v1. So 3 matchups we gave the players. Which ones did they choose to veto? Well, they both vetoed the Sniper versus Lich. Korok and Synderen, they did not want to play that matchup. Then we flipped coins to see out of the 2 remaining matchups which one would be used, and we got Viper versus Shadow Fiend again. But I'm kind of happy about this because I think it's an exciting matchup. I think it's relatively balanced, and it always is interesting. Shadow Fiend is just such a fun hero to play in 1v1 mid because if he hits his raises, he's generally looking good. If he misses, he's in a lot of trouble. I also am very interested to see the item build for the Viper players this game. Last time around, we saw basically a no regen build from Korok, and it seemed that did cost him. So, with all that being said, we've talked about the matchups, we've talked about the brackets, we've talked about the prizes, we've talked ourselves to death. That's enough yammering, folks. It's time to get this rodeo on the road. Overlay strike again. Welcome back, everybody, to our game number 1, Synderen versus Korok. Synderen is on the dire side, Korok on the radiant. This one, a best out of 3. So we're going to see Synderen getting his hands on that Shadow Fiend first. Korok, perhaps more well-known for his Shadow Fiend play, but he'll be starting on the Viper. Can he make this one work? Can Synderen punish him? We'll have to see. Synderen also a player. We have not seen him play Shadow Fiend really at all in competitive play. And really, Cat? Really? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, man. Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Prepare for battle.
That's my cat for you. She's the boss. She does own Beyond the Summit, so I can yell at her all I want, but she makes the final calls here. She's the one who's choosing the matchups, by the way, if you're wondering. Okay, so, on the dire side, we have Synderen, the captain of MTW, playing the Shadow Fiend, not using the Courier to scout just yet, has opted to save 100 gold for the bottle, but is getting a lot of plus stats. We saw the last time, I think, there was a double Slippers of Agility build, so not rushing the bottle quite as quickly, but this time around, only 1 Slipper and an extra Iron Branch instead. So going to be getting that bottle out a little bit quicker. As for Korok, well, a big difference from what we saw from Korok. Tons of regen for him. 300 gold worth. In fact, I mean, it's basically... It's something we saw that the Viper does need, because he's not really a great hero to use the runes for the most part. Sure, he can use them effectively, but if he's going for them, he's missing experience, and Shadow Fiend will be able to outpush him, assuming he's not getting zoned out of lane. But with that being said, he gets a lot of regen early, but we'll see what he goes for. Most likely to be the boots first. Very important to zone the Shadow Fiend out of the lane. There's no Queen of Pain in this game. There's no hero with a blink ability. And so... we may see the Courier scouting being a little bit more... we may see both players being a little more aggressive with that, but so far only Synderen who's doing it. Courier's going to make its foray down towards the bottom
battle
room.
begins.
The voracious Greevil. It actually looks... It's got the googly eyes. So Synderen is going to spot that illusion rune bottom. This is a really good rune for last hitting early on, but let's see if he goes for it, or let's see if he leaves it for a little bit later. Generally, the Radiant hero is always going to go for the top rune. It's almost like a gentleman's agreement. I would love to see someone piss all over that gentleman's agreement and just say, no, I'm going to contest the bottom rune. I'm going to do something a little bit off the beaten path. But the main reason is it's just a longer journey for Radiant. And already you can see Korok has gone for the point in Corrosive Skin at level 1. Not another Toxin to help with last hitting. Not the Poison attack to help harass. This is a different build, something you normally don't see at level 1 from Viper. But in the 1v1 matchup, it does mean trading blows will favor him a bit more. Since Synderen's going to be at full HP anyway, another Toxin won't help you with that. But in spite of that, it seems like Synderen's getting the edge here. The creeps auto attacks are just doing a little bit more. They both have the same armor. Korok has more HP by quite a bit, actually. That's just Viper having better starting strength. Salve number 1 is popped. So having those extra salves, he wants to abuse them, try and delay that bottle rush. Spam a salve and take some auto attacks. But Synderen, he's already tangoed back up mostly to full, so he'll be okay in spite of this. You can see every time a poison attack comes out, Shadow Fiend's attack animation is slowed, which makes it a little bit harder for him to get those last hits. That came into play in the Korok game earlier, is the slow from poison attack as well as from Nether Strike. It's a huge attack speed slow. The move speed slow is one thing, but if you're trying to just stand there and last hit, it can mess you up. It can be very disruptive. I assume we'll see at least one point another Toxin, although I'm not sure. Maybe he's just leveling up Corrosive Skin to help tank the raises. It's a little bit of... It's a different build. The problem with that build is I still think Shadow Fiend is just going to out DPS him without another Toxin. So I'm not sure if leveling it up is the way to go. But we'll see. I've personally not had a chance to play much Dota. First blood already by Synderen. Wow. Oh boy, Synderen just mans up under the tower. And with no points in Nether Toxin, there was no chance that trading blows was going to work there. That's a dangerous timing for Synderen. A really effective moment for him. He has 2 points in raise, and he's got the creep wave pushing, and Korok just not respecting really the amount of damage he could do. Could have positioned himself much more defensively over here, but was trying to sit up here, looking to maybe usher Synderen out of the lane. It just got trapped really at the trees. Wow, this is a different build. And it's one that so far is not working too well, but give Synderen credit. He's last hitting well. He's out harassing Korok. He's got the bottle up. He's 1 kill away from taking this game 1. And it's the dire Shadow Fiend. And then he'll switch to the Viper if that's the case. There comes the raise. Korok backing off for the moment. Unable to really get aggressive. And this is a lane where once Viper hits 6, he wants to just come and kill you, because that's when he's the strongest. But I don't know that Korok has that option anymore. He hasn't gone for any points in Nether Toxin. That's a huge reason why you're able to win those 1v1 man fights, is because of the Nether Toxin. As the enemy hero gets low, they're attacking very slowly, and what looks like a fight that Synderen's going to win just goes completely the other way. Korok is already being driven back to his base, back to his tier... not to his base, to his tier 1 tower. Salves and tangos up. And Synderen just commanding the high ground here. Hasn't even gone for a rune yet. There's still an illusion bottom. He may look to take that now. Korok's level 3. He doesn't think he can come back from this. Oh, Korok! GG, go next, need to restart. Well, there you have it. Korok is going to forfeit the rest of the match. Synderen strikes first, an unexpected first blood at level 3. And Korok is now suiciding to the tower, offering his life to Synderen. The captain of MTW does it. He takes game 1. Synderen, much maligned by the community for solo play, but he is serving notice that he is a pretty damn good solo. And Korok goes for a different build on this Viper. It doesn't work. But Korok, of course, this being a best out of 3, will have a chance to come back. So guys, stay tuned. We'll have more action coming up soon. And we're going to have a very quick break. We'll have a 2-minute break. Then we'll come back. We'll see game number 2 of this matchup. If there's a game 3, we'll have another 2-minute break and see that afterwards. So thank you all very much for tuning in. They're going to switch sides. They're going to take a very quick break. And then game 2 of this matchup with Synderen leading 1-0 will be underway. Remember, the winner of this match is going to move on to the winner bracket finals. The loser will drop down to face S4, who's lurking for them, who looked pretty decent against Korok yesterday, or 2 days ago. Is not a player you want to underestimate. Of course, S4 from No Tidehunter. So guys, stay tuned. Game 2 coming up soon. Damn it, I keep on doing that.